Hey guys, coming to you live from the Lead Maine booth here at the GOP convention, and I'm coming to you to talk about a bill that Governor Mills just vetoed. This news has just broken, and so we're here on the convention floor. They're setting up other stuff behind us, but we're here in the booth, and I'm here with Representative Joshua Morris.
Hey.
He'll be popping on screen in just a couple of minutes, but we're going to talk about this bill. First of all, let me be real honest. I am surprised that Governor Mills vetoed this bill. This was a high priority bill for the Democrats, and it is a national agenda to ban data centers. This is something that's being funded by ultra-rich folks who have a bone to pick with these data centers, and so this is a national agenda to ban data centers, and Maine was the first state to pass a bill like this. The bill that was passed in Maine would ban data centers for the next 18 months. It would be a moratorium. And my stance on this is that local control is adequate to decide if communities want to have a data center, if they don't want to have a data center. And so it should be left in local control. Lewiston had a data center proposed. Lewiston citizens spoke up. They said, we don't want it, and it was canceled. Now we've got other towns like Jay who have data center pending. There are 800 jobs at stake, 800 temporary jobs, and then 100 permanent jobs. And so it's a big, big deal that this bill passed, but now Governor Mills has vetoed it. So I'm going to turn here. We're gonna squeeze on the screen.
Right.
And Josh Morris and I, he's the representative from Turner, we're going to give our hot take. So Josh, give us your 2 cents on this veto.
Yeah, I think it's a good veto. She talks about in the veto message about the economic impact it would have had on Jay, the construction jobs that it's going to bring, as well as the permanent jobs it'll bring, and also the other concern she raised is the property tax relief that this would pay, because that's a huge property taxpayer that's going away with that mill. So this is a huge victory for economic freedom as well as for local control, as you said, Laura.
Now, let's talk about that a little bit. So Governor Mills had said she supported this bill, but she supported it with a carve-out. Now, you know my stance on carve-outs. And so the carve-out that she wanted was that Jay would be allowed to move forward. The bill that Augusta Democrats in the House and Senate passed it didn't have that carve-out. It didn't allow for Jay to continue to develop this project. And so she has vetoed this, saying, I supported the bill if you included this carve out. And so it's going to be coming back to us for a vote.
Right.
And in order to support the veto, to achieve success, we have to have basically.
Right. We have to make sure we have
to make sure we've got a third of the votes.
Or
Okay.
More, 1/3 plus 1.
1/3 plus 1.
Enough
because the Democrats would have to have a 2/3 vote in order to get over the bump of that veto.
Exactly.
Which, if we're there on next week on veto day, should not be a problem.
No, I don't think so.
So here's my surprise, though. We're going to pivot back to me for a second, then we'll get Josh's reaction to this. The political side of things. Governor Mills, I have always said, is the most moderate Democrat in Augusta. And I kind of stand by that with this. She's in a weird position. She's got to win this primary, and she's got to out-liberal Graham Plattner. But at the same time, she really has been the stopgap for some of the most extreme things that her party has done over the last 7-8 years. And so, again, she's coming in and vetoing this bill, which I didn't think that she would do. I was kind of optimistic that she might, but with the primary thrown in there, I didn't think that she would. Because politically, this is going to be a tough thing with this national agenda to ban data centers, with this bill being a first in the nation. So I am surprised politically that Governor Mills vetoed this, because it's been a race to the bottom, trying to out-liberal each other. She's come out, she supported the millionaire tax, which she's always opposed in the past. She's supporting single-payer, taxpayer-funded health care, which she's never supported in the past. And so what do you think? Are you as confused as I am, Josh, that Governor Mills vetoed this against her party's interests?
Absolutely. I am surprised that I'm pleasantly surprised that she did decide to veto this. As you said, she's been taking further left stances lately because of the primary she's up against and because of what the polling shows against her with Graham Plattner. But I'm pleased that she did. I think it's something where she realizes this is a bad deal for Maine. It'd be bad for a region. I mean, she's from Farmington, which is only right next door to Jay. So I'm sure that played a role in it, the impact it would have on that area. So I think that's why she decided to veto this. And, good for her for doing it, because I think it's important for Maine's economy.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it is important for Maine's economy. I don't support the state legislature just making a wholesale ban on a certain class of business. And so I'm glad to see this veto. I think that local control is absolutely adequate to decide if they want to have data centers in that community or not. I've heard arguments both ways, all the ways. There's a lot being talked about with data centers. We did a very informal, unscientific poll here on Facebook the other day asking folks their stance. Do you support data centers? Do you not? Please feel free to weigh in on this live. Let us know your thoughts on Governor Mills vetoing this. Are you glad she did? Are you bummed she did? Do you think your community will take action? Will your town council, pass an ordinance dealing with data centers? We're seeing towns around Maine passing ordinances dealing with this very issue, and I think that is the way that this should go. Is communities should decide if this is the right fit for them business-wise. Maine citizens should get to weigh in, but it shouldn't be a broad statewide ban mandated by the legislature. So that is our take on this veto.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in. Any final words, Josh?
No, none. I think we covered it.
All right. Thank you, Josh Morris, State Representative from Turner, for helping provide this hot take on the governor's veto of the data center ban. Stay tuned for more, and we will talk to you again next time.